Yeah, Brave Daily just tweeted about it. No big deal.
Tweet.
Automatically?
So, yeah, I had it set up.
Auto
Come on.
magically.
So I think we're good on Twitter. You said I see YouTube now we're live, and then I see us
Wow.
on the old F book.
Okay, so are we live on
Rylan's
the-
like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Rylan's like, all right, I can do this.
Oh, this is pretty exciting.
I guess we'll just wait a quick second.
So don't open up YouTube to see if the thing works while we're doing this, because then you'll have two conversations going at once.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I have mobile set up, so I can pull up YouTube right now without audio.
Oh.
Oh, look at that! I could shoot a little message over to YouTube if I want to. Come on now.
Okay, yes, we are live on YouTube.
Hey there, Facebook user. Good morning.
Well, hot diggity dang! Look at this technology. We're just.
Should I like myself on YouTube now?
Why do you think I do this whole thing in the first place? So I can circle back and like everything that I do. It's like good. Every morning it's a little morale booster.
Okay. So,
Not that. Oh, hey Richard. I
Hey.
saw that you can chat down here.
I'm just commenting to add myself. This is beautiful.
Steve, looks like you got in. He was just messaging about where in the world to go to access this thing. So, we'll just get rolling in a second. Literally, like 1 more minute. This is pretty cool.
okay, wait, is it a second or a minute?
Literally 1 minute, 1 second. So, how about since we have a second to kill, Richard, where are you at, and what time is it?
Okay, so I'm in Yucaipa, Southern California. It is 6:01 a.m. and I obviously am almost done with my coffee, so I need some more. So
Every time you use that mug, I think it's like your beard. When you hold it in front of your face, it throws me off.
right, my mini chin.
Yeah, you mean like just like that.
Right.
David, you're in Texas, and what time is
It's
it?
8 a.m.
It's 8, so you got to sleep in. And Rylan, what
It
time is
is.
it in Arkansas?
It's 8:00 in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay, and I'm like way late. I'm like middle of the afternoon at 9, so
Yeah.
it's fine. I get to sleep in, I guess. Very choppy.
We're getting feedback that
We're getting feedback. What if we do this? See you, Richard.
Backed up. I messed
Sorry.
up, man. It is
Sorry.
dark backstage. Everything went dark. I couldn't hear anything. Near death experience right here.
What is that? 6 a.m. dedication. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I couldn't read it. I don't know why. All right. Well, we'll just get rolling, and we'll see how this video turns out. If it's choppy, then we'll ditch you, Restream. We'll find someone else that's going to take care of us if that's the case. Today is really just a flyover of some basics. Is all we're doing. So it's Logos basics, and it's like I think we were talking beforehand. If you would just open up the platform and click around and just explore a little bit, those are some of the things we'll be talking about. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty details. We're not going to dig into like tagging and clippings and notes and like how you share a document with all these whatever. So we're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just going to kind of explore a little bit. And so again, to set the stage, we're going to be doing this as often as we can. We're just doing this for fun and to help you out. But we'll be doing this hopefully weekly, but we'll see. I mean, it takes Richard waking up at a crazy time in order to pull it off. So that's today's topic, today's agenda. Today's agenda will look a little something like preferred resources, how to save different layouts, the difference between what Logos calls workflows and guides, how to really leverage your home screen or what your home screen is instead of digging in and customizing it. And then anything else that Rylan basically wants to share once we hand it over to him, because he's like a firecracker. We don't know. So then at the end there'll be some time for some questions if you want to drop it into the comments on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook. One sweet thing is we can watch them all. So there's that. All these questions are coming from tips and tricks like Facebook group or the event that we had scheduled out. And so when we do this in the future, you can go ahead and like drop comments or questions in there, and we'll try to address them. Hey, you're welcome. I saw that. Thank you. So we're going to start with David, and I'm going to hand it off to David. And if you're good with that, David, you ready to roll?
Yeah.
We'll talk about saved layouts a little bit.
Yeah. So what a saved layout is, let me go on ahead and open one as a demonstration. You can configure a number of different panels. Like as you're going through a study, you can open up a number of panels, and then you can actually save it for future use so that you can pull up the exact same panels. So like this is one I have, it's called current reading. I have notes open so that I can pick a specific notebook to save all notes from that reading session too. I have collections and libraries so that I can see what books I'm currently working on, so I can work through them. So I have this specifically saved, like I said, for future use. I have one saved for a lengthy study I'm using. It opens up a number of different commentaries, a number of different, like a Bible, a study Bible, a couple other books, some reading plans, notes, and some other features. So this is useful if you have, like you have a favorite commentary, you have a favorite way you work through studies, and you get all your panels set up, you go on ahead and save them. And then that way you can pull that up, excuse me, in one click. You can either do it, you can save it on the favorites bar, you can save it in layouts itself. And it just makes it really easy to get right back into your flow instead of having to open up all of your panels again and figure out, what you want where, make sure you have all your resources and everything. So that's my quick down and dirty on layouts.
Nailed it. And then we'll get to, we had talked about prioritizing some resources and all that jazz, but Rylan, you're going to handle that, right?
Yes.
Cool. That's all good. Richard, you're going to be up next, my man. And you'll be talking just about the difference between workflows and guides. So before you even get into like clicking anywhere, what like at a high level, what are those two things?
Okay, so yeah, I think that's a really good start. So workflow and guides. So a guide is basically like a large it's like a large research assistant that Logos has that grabs all your tools, it grabs all your resources together, and it puts it together in a way you can just easily access those different things. So it's a really helpful thing. So you have a ton of different guides Logos has provided for you. Now workflow is kind of like that research assistant that's within the guide, except they're taking you in hand and walking you down the process. The way I kind of look at it is a guide is kind of like for those people that are a little, maybe they're a little more unstructured. They know what they're doing. There's somebody who, they kind of have a direction that they already have. Maybe they're a little more familiar with Logos or their own personal way of doing study. Whereas somebody is like, oh man, this is all overwhelming. I don't know what to do. How do I exegete a passage? I don't even know where to start with like a character study or whatever. The workflow is where you want to go. Workflow, it'll take you like literally step by step. It'll set up the guides for you. It'll set up the resources and tools, and you kind of got to just walk through it. They do similar things, but one is more self-directed. It's a little more open-ended. The other one is going to walk you down the pathway, down the yellow brick road to biblical bliss, and that's the way that one works. Let's go ahead and jump into this real quick.
1 second before you even get into it, Richard. I just want to flag Pastor Appreciation Month coupon code right there. So you got a free resource.
Right here.
If you're a pastor, you got $20 off this month. No big deal.
Yeah. Be sure you use our link provided for you. That'll be showing up in a little bit. And then also our free resource in the Pentateuch here. That's a lot of fun stuff right there too. Okay, so hey, what we had mentioned over here with the guides, everything you want is right up here, and everything's within reach up here. If we go to our guides little menu up here, you'll have access to both your guides that we're talking about as well as workflows. Logos, they've put a couple of them up here. You can also drag and drop if you'd like them within reach right up top. But if you scroll down to guides, you have all these guides that are already created for passage, sermon starter, theology topic, Bible word study. They're all pretty self-explanatory based on what you want to do. And with anything, if you just leave your mouse over a little bit over any type of option, Logos will give you a little reference there as to what it is. Also, you have a ton of other smaller guides, your Bible reference guides, topic guides, word studying guides, theology guides. And if you just look through, I mean, literally, you can get lost here for hours just kind of going through each and every one. We were talking earlier, and with Logos, don't be don't be afraid. You're not going to break it. So just click on stuff, make things happen. So right now, I opened guides, went to passage guide, and it opens up a passage guide that'll me out with a specific passage I put in there. If I open up my guides window here up at the top, and if I open workflows, if you were to pick like a biblical person study, then over here you have your workflow and it gets you started. All you gotta do, type in a name, something easy like Melchizedek, and
something easy like Melchizedek.
Yeah, we'll just Second Temple stuff. It's just not easy. And then as you'll see, it has like literally 5 different steps. Research person, open biblical navigator. Number 2. Oh, it has a words with fact and things like that here. Everything everything blue, you can click, bing, bang, boom, and it walks you through it. Whereas the passage guide is a little more open-ended. And that is a quick overview of the difference between those 2 resources.
Cool. Thank you, sir. And then one big swig of coffee to help us hand off to Rylan. Rylan, you're going to be focusing on really just the homepage. And then we'll talk a little bit about prioritizing and what it would mean to set a preferred Bible.
Sure. And then we got a question about how to find present active verbs in Philippians, which is a great question. How to do
Rylan
that.
is like, yes, please, and thank you.
That's right up my alley. So, so when you turn on Logos, let's say you're brand new and you've got what's called the home screen, which is going to look like, is my home screen up?
On its way. Sorry about that.
On its way. There we go. So this is my home screen, and you can do you can customize the home screen for how you want. And let's say, so like when I first got Logos, I didn't really want to see this stuff. I've changed over the last couple of years, but what I wanted when I first got there was I wanted to see this. So I wanted a clear slate, and Logos lets you do that. And the way to do that is you're going to go to your settings menu, program settings, and I think it's one of the first options. It's the first option. At startup, open to, and then when you click on it, you're going to get a bunch of options. Do you want a blank layout, which is what this is, nothing on the screen? You can go to your most recent layout on any of your Logos. Let's say you have it on a laptop and a home computer, or you can do your most recent layout. Say you're doing something at your office, but you don't want to do that at home. You can open up to whatever your last layout was, or if you have layouts saved, you're able to pick one of your layouts. It'll automatically have that data for you. You just choose one, and then every time you open up Logos, that's what's going to be on the screen. It's not going to be the home screen. But I've gotten to where I really like the home screen. There's a couple things you can do with it. One is you can, on your dashboard, you can add, are these called quick cards? I think that's what they're called.
Cards.
Yeah, cards. And basically the kind of things that you might use every day. So I've got a prayer list that I've created that you can add to your dashboard, whatever course I'm taking, my daily devotional, and then if I'm reading a book, I've got all those things on the dashboard. And the way to add those is there's a plus sign and a circle up here. You click on it, and then you can just add whatever you want to. And let's say I want to add another daily devotional. Logos, the way it kind of tags their own resources, it's going to have that information for you. So like if you just bought a daily devotional, like I'm going through, where is it?
New Morning Mercies?
Yeah, New Morning Mercies. Where's it at? Yeah. Is it on here?
I don't see it on there. I saw it on a card on there, and it's like an amazing resource. So
it is. It's like my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's already on your screen,
it won't be there. That makes sense. So, but you just choose one. Let's say I want to do the Eastern Saints.
Oh.
And, it's right there. And then to get rid of those cards, you just click on their program settings icon, the 3 dots, and then remove the card. You can also, at the settings for the home screen, when you click on the settings button, you can change it, whether you want 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns. And then down here, this is really kind of like why I like to use the home screen is because Logos has and Faith Life has a number of websites, like the academic website, the blog, the Logos page where they're doing their sales, and all that information gets put on your home screen and updated every time you come here. So instead of having to go to 3 or 4 different websites to get what's going on with Faith Life, it just comes through here, and you can customize which of these panels you want by clicking on their setting menu. And I've got a lot of them, but you can have others. The 2 I'm missing are feature suggestions. So like Logos will suggest features within the software for you to use, like workflows or guides. It'll say, hey, try this. Training videos, which might be helpful if you're super new to it, and also the verse of the day. So that's a brief overview of the home screen. But the real thing is, like, you find something that works for you. You may be a person who doesn't want the all these panels. You just want to like open up the Bible. Man, I would say like save a layout with your preferred Bible, a study Bible. Open it up so you can just be in the Word when you open it up. Don't worry. So like some people I've heard, they almost complain because they're like, I don't like the advertisements when I show up, when I open up Logos. Take them away. Like you don't have to see them. But for those of me who like to kind of be in that Faith Life world every day, it's very helpful. So that's home screen. And then secondly, can I talk about prioritization?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so the first thing you do when you get your software is you're going to want to prioritize some of your resources. That's what's going to work in the guides and workflows. That's how Logos like brings all that, your information, your resources to use. And the way to do it, super easy. You're going to open up your library. And then you're going to go
hey, Rylan, you just did something that like a lot of people were like, wait a second, it's that easy?
It's that easy. Yeah.
Well, I think that like normally someone would like clicked on library and then clicked open in a new pane, and you just clicked and drag it, which is like, go ahead. Sorry.
You can do that with all your resources. Like everything, Logos is pretty good at dragging and dropping. So like you just left click on your library, hold it down, and you can either do like this side of the screen, that side of the screen, or, when I'm working in the library, I like the whole screen to show. And so, just drag, drop. I appreciate you mentioning that, Jason. And then you're going to open up the programs, the panels menu, and you're going to look for this option, prioritize resources. And this is how Logos is going to populate your resources for the workflows, the guides, the tools, like the fact book. It's all coming from this, kind of how you prioritize it. And I recommend everybody prioritize Bibles first. And the order for the prioritization is the resource at the top gets chosen first. So like my preferred Bible is the New American Standard Bible. So I've got that one at the very top of my prefer these resources. So whenever I open up a Bible, when I'm in I need to open up a Bible, that's the one's that's gonna open up. But let's say you want the NIV or like even the Lexham English Bible, which is a fantastic translation. All you have to do is, again, drag and drop. You just drag it to the top. So you're going to want to put Bibles first, and then I like to put my lexicons and dictionaries, and then below that I like to put my my commentaries. And here's the thing to remember on resources: when you have resources in a set, if you drag and drop them over to your preferred resources, that whole set is going to go with it. So let's say, like I'm really liking the this commentary series, and let's say I want to add it to my list. You just hold it down, drag it over, and there it is, the whole thing. So that's part of my prioritized list. One final thing is, let's say I don't want the whole set. I just want that resource. You right click on the resource, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to prioritize this resource or this series? You prioritize this resource. And did that? I may already have it in there, which is why it's not going over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. Just right click on it to prioritize this resource, and hopefully that'll get you going.
Yeah, I was just gonna add. And Richard, did you have something to add too?
To this? No, man, Riley, I think you did really well.
I thought you raised your hand. I was just going to add, Rylan, that to connect what you just shared with what Richard just shared is that you really see the prioritizing come like show its face, I guess, in like workflows or in guides. Like that's when you start personalizing your library to say, what would you like served up
Yeah,
when you're doing your
yeah,
research?
yeah. I would add that I think you with your Bibles, my suggestion would be you got to do your five because if you do your like text comparison, it's going to pull from those. If you might even notice in some of your search thing, there's this word called top Bibles, and that's your top five.
Yeah.
Whenever you see top Bibles, that's your top five. I'm not sure if Rylan shared that and everything, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's where that's what makes the search assistant in Logos work together.
Yep.
Is it knows which ones you want first. So yeah, I think prioritizing is pretty important to most people,
Um,
not to everybody, not to everybody.
And here's an example. So let's say you're doing a Bible word study. You're in a Hosea 1:6, and you're looking at the word conceived.
Hmm.
When you right click on the word conceived, and then when you're on the lemma for conceive, you're going to get this option Bible word study. You click it, it's going to open up a different option. Up
mhm.
here for the lemma, these are my prioritized lexicons. So, like, I've got BDB first in my prioritized list. So, anytime you've got your prioritized resources, those are going to show up first. And so, it may take a couple months as you go through your resources and you're not really familiar with resources. Change them up, see what you like, find a way that works for you.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Did you want to dig into the syntax or no?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Or do you want to wait for a different like time when you have more time? It's up to you.
real quick, I can do it real quick.
Okay, cool.
So the way to do that is open up a search panel. So if you see kind of that magnifying glass, just click on it, and you've got a lot of different options. The one you're going to want to be on is morph, even though they're asking about a syntax question. Click on morph, and then you're going to search all morph text. It's when you turn this on, it's going to say all passages. The beautiful thing about Logos is you can narrow it. So we're just going to type in Philippians. And now what you want to do, if you're looking for a Greek word, you're going to do @ Greek, and then Logos is going to give you options. So we're looking for present, active verbs. So choose your verb, and then it's going to come up with present, active. There you
And you
go.
could keep digging.
Yep.
But yeah, so one thing in the beginning when I was using that confused me was like, well, I don't need anything else selected. Like, what do I do here? But like, if you just end with whatever you need to search for, then that's what will pop up.
That's it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. You may have just done someone's homework or helped with sermon prep or something like that. So they'd probably appreciate that very much.
Tomorrow's Sunday, right?
That's it.
And then I'm going to hand off to, if you're good, Rylan, did you want to add anything else? I'm going to
No,
hand
I'm
off to
done.
David
Yeah.
otherwise. David and I were messaging a little, and he wanted to chat through, let's see if I can pop this up, favorites. Yeah, so using favorites on your Logos platform.
Okay, so favorites is a lifesaver. There's a couple different ways, though, that Logos uses favorites. So the actual favorites tool is under tools, but this bar is an entire favorites bar. And you can drag individual resources up here, like I have the Bible up here, or the ESV specifically. I have Quick Start for Logos 8. I have notes. I have collections. You'll also see I have Kin and Kinnot. These are actual links. So if you are on your browser and you save a favorite in your browser, you can drag that bookmark over onto here, and then it'll open up in the browser when you click on it. So that's a very powerful tool. I have some layouts here. I have some notebooks. You can also add favorites on here. When you do drop down on tools or guides, you can right click and you can do pin to top. That's another way to use favorites, or you can add to the actual favorites tool.
Yeah.
But then we have the actual favorites tool itself, which is right here. And so it's almost always opens up in a small bar like this. And you can just keep adding anything you want. You can add folders, you can add drop downs, you can do prayer lists, you can do reading guides, you can do specific studies. Like this was, I don't know if this is going to take a while to open. This was a specific search that I had done. So you can actually save the search itself. You can save just about anything onto here. You also have bookmarks, which is very useful. So my personal preference is I use reading guides as bookmarks, because if I'm going to be doing if I'm going to be doing reading through a book, then I'm just going to use reading guide as this is where I'm at. But you can also add bookmarks itself, and to set them, you do the control shift plus the number, and then it'll save exactly where you're at within the book. So that's another feature within the favorites tool that's very useful, especially if you have a particular study you're doing that's not reading, just studying, and you want to save a particular place in each book. You can do that. You can have up to 9 bookmarks. So that's a quick down and dirty on the different ways that Logos has favorites or pins or shortcuts, and then the actual favorites bar, which is more of a long text version of those same features.
Cool. Sweet. Thank you. I think that's about it for today, guys. That's really helpful. Thanks, David. I was wondering, is there anything that we had chatted about beforehand that I'm missing? We had talked about like some recommended resources, but we didn't really decide on any. Check that background out. That's slick right there.
All the resources.
All the resources.
All the resources.
Did you have any that you wanted to mention with things we were talking about that we could drop in links or something later on?
So, the ones that I use the most for it really depends what you're trying to do. And if I could go back in time and do Logos, I probably would have bought a smaller package with the full data sets and the full features, but then bought books that I know I'm going to use all the time. And so, that would be my recommendation to people is buy the resources that you think you're going to use, commentaries. But the BDAG has been a very helpful for me. And then there's a new one called the GE Brill, the G Brill. For word study, and the beauty of that lexicon is it doesn't just take the words from the Bible; it takes all the words from Koine Greek from that time period. So you'll get how it was used in classical literature for Koine Greek, and just a fantastic resource. What about you all? What do y'all recommend?
Just a quick follow-up question to that, GE Brill, David or Rylan, would you buy that resource for me? I was just wondering.
One day, yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I will.
Okay, cool. Any other resources, David, Richard?
I think, so my favorite is IVP Black Dictionaries. I just can't talk enough good about them. I love the IVP Black Dictionaries. They cover a huge span of the Bible. They hone down in whether it's the latter developments of the New Testament period, Paul and his letters, all that kind of stuff. I mean, prophets, historical books. When it comes to context, and culture and stuff like that, that's just always my go-to. If you want to for fact book, the guides, all that kind of stuff, it just shows up, and they're one of the first things I usually go to. So I love the IVP Black Dictionaries. That's one of my number one resource recommendations.
Yeah. I'm a big fan too. I was gonna say something. It's probably more simple layperson study Bible. You passed over the Lexham translation when you were talking, Rylan, about I think prioritizing, and everything coming out of Lexham right now is pretty solid, and their study Bible is free. It's free, so it's
even the Lexham Bible Dictionary.
Yeah,
like the Faith Life Study Bible. I mean, that stuff's all free, and it's just killer. They're killer resources.
Yeah, good first stop too when I study. So.
Well, and that's actually what I was going to highlight is the Lexham research commentaries. Individually, they're expensive, but they're available on Connect. I believe Connect Premier has all of them, but they are my absolute favorite commentaries, and it's because.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and pop my screen up?
Yeah.
It's not just they go through some of the details on the passage. Like I currently have Genesis 1 through 11, that volume up. They go through issues at a glance. They go through the outline, the structure of it. Also have lengthy sections of passages out of additional commentaries already linked. As you can see, there's a number of commentaries I don't own yet. I do own this one. So
like that you
it's
said
not
yet.
just the one resource. It's you're
Yeah.
getting they're actively pulling from so many other places, and it's absolutely wonderful. So that would be my resource highlight for the day.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks, guys. I mean, there's tons more questions. We'll be doing a lot more of these, but trying to stick to about a half hour. If you have questions, you're watching. Looks like we still have 20 or 30 people who are hanging with us, which is pretty encouraging. So I hope you're getting use out of this time if you're learning how to use the platform. But drop a comment or let us know if you have any questions. Follow along in the groups, and we just hope that we can help out and serve you guys. So that's it for today. I think I'm gonna pull David's screen down and let you see Richard's thumbs up. But we're good for today. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks, guys.